Hello everyone, and welcome back to Technically Unsure, where I'm not really sure what I'm doing technically.
And you're sure this is going to work?
Today we are going to take a look at a board that is sent to me by the company. The usual, so I told them again, I am going to do a regular review of the board. So if there are any problems, something doesn't work, or I can get it to work, it's going to be on the camera, it's going to be on the video. With that condition, they agreed and they shipped a box. Honestly, I don't know what is inside. This is how it arrived. I am going to open it up, see what's inside. I think they told me actually, they said they are going to ship a YouYeeToo R1. There you go. This is the YouYeeToo R1, a single board computer. Some other bunch of stuff that I didn't know it's coming. I had no idea that they are going to send these things. Okay, even a screen is sent. I wasn't expecting this. I think this is like a 75 hertz. Small resolution, but I think it's 7 inches. From the 7, I'm just guessing it's a 7-inch screen. We're gonna get back to that. Okay, all the cables are in there. This is definitely a 7-inch screen. Cables are there, probably the stand. First unbox the, oh, they even sent a Wi-Fi card. That's very nice. So then I'm assuming this one doesn't have a Wi-Fi on board. Oh, it says here, it says Wi-Fi 6. Let's move on. Yeah, there is the specs in here, which we are also going to cover, but I'm going to leave the specs on the screen as well so we can go through it. Oh, wow. Okay. That is a chunky board, but also small. Okay. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. 2 big LEDs over here. I haven't seen any SBC like that. That's a little bit different. This looks nice. Oh, there is also an NVMe SSD slot here, 2280. So this is, and as you can see here as well, RK3588S, 8-core, 64-bit. We have reviewed some other boards with exact same SoC. It also comes with the Mali G610 again, and 6 tops NPU, so that's also there. And this one comes with Wi-Fi 5 and Bluetooth 5, Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.2 support. So I'm guessing yes. So here, this is the slot. As you can see, you can install that Wi-Fi card in there. I don't think when you buy it, it comes with it. Yeah, you have to buy it separately as an add-on. So that's the one. Operating system support, as it says here, Android. I saw the Android image. I already downloaded it because it was a large file actually. All of the operating systems are like 8-9 gigabytes, so I downloaded all of them before the video, so I'm gonna burn those into this board and try the. And in terms of I/O, as it says here, and as you can see here, so there is a gigabit Ethernet over here, and then there is 3 USB 2 ports, these black ones, and 1 USB 3 port. And then there is also SATA 3 SSD, which is here. You can put an SSD in here. And then there is also another one in here, which is going to be for the Wi-Fi card. And HDMI is HDMI 2.1. That's nice. That's nice. And also the USB-C can be used for DisplayPort 1.4. I am not seeing any USB-C port over here. Yeah, what I'm gonna say is they probably mean that you can use this USB 3 port for the DisplayPort 1.4. I'm just gonna guess, because there is no USB-C, or there is another version or variant of this board that might have the USB-C, but I am not seeing that anywhere in here. And the size is 100 millimeters by 69. Hold on. Absolute precision, huh?
Precision, Dick. Precision. The key to success.
Giving them a pass. Yeah, it's a little bit less than 100 millimeters by 69.3. So if you count the parts that's sticking out, yes, so that's the size, that the dimension. So that's accurate. In terms of other stuff on the board, we covered the ports, okay? Basically, this is the power, right? This is where you power the board. This is a 12-volt barrel jack. So here, they already sent it to me. This is a 12-volt 3-amp barrel jack. So yep, that's oh, actually that's a very tight fit, okay? In terms of I/O, this is the, as it says right there, MIPI DSI. And then there's MIPI CSI, and these are a bunch of buttons. So is there a label? Oh yeah, label is on the other side. So boot, recover, power, and reset. And this is Wi-Fi and Bluetooth as we talked about. That's going to be installed there. There are a bunch of screws also in the box. Let me take those out. And very, very nice of them to include this. So I'm assuming it's going to be, yep, right there. I just have to put one of those tapes in here, and then double-sided ones, and then put it in here. I don't think I'm going to use thermal paste in here. It's going to make a mess, and it's over here. So I'm going to stick one side in this, one side, and then connect that. Okay. All right, attach that. So we'll do that later. Let's keep going. This is a 30-pin GPIO, by the way. It's a little bit weird number. I don't know what is standard. There is no standard really, but I'm just used to 40-pin. This 30-pin is a little bit unusual, let's just say. This is the TF card, so SD card slot. Gigabit Ethernet we talked about. This is a USB 2 header, by the way. This blue one is a USB 2 header. Headphone jack is there. Microphone connector is there. Talked about everything in here. This is also a power pin actually, so these two. Instead of using the barrel jack in here, you can use your own power connector to power the board from here, like battery or whatever if you want to. And there is a microphone in there. Yeah, it says mic right there. You see that tiny thing, round thing? Yeah, that's microphone. I don't think I remember seeing any SBC with a built-in microphone, honestly. If you guys know any other, let me know, but I'm thinking really, I don't remember any SBC with a soldered on microphone on board. I don't think I've seen one. So that's also another anomaly. The other side, there is also another DSI and MIPI, so SIF Y. So I have to explore and check what that one is. Audio output here, as you can see. So there is a fan header, RTC header, and then debug UART header in here. I kind of like what I'm seeing. Oh wow, there is NFC antenna. So this board also have NFC chip on it, I guess. This is totally unusual. I'm not used to seeing these sensors like in a SBC like this. So yeah, this CPHY01, this is also CSI. So DSI and CSI. So I don't know why it says SIF Y and something. There are a lot of sensors on this. I wasn't expecting. This is a nice board. I'm guessing the DSI, they included the LCD and a connector cable. I want to see if I can do it without reading any manual and documentation. So hopefully I will be able to do that. I see some power connections in here. Okay, hopefully I will be able to do that. They also sent this, which is the tablet PC stand. For Galaxy Tab though, we can use this to hold the screen, I guess. So yeah, we'll come back to that later. It doesn't matter. And then there's also acrylic shell kit. This is for the SBC, by the way. So we can use this to assemble a case for it. Let me connect the Wi-Fi card, and then I will also try to burn the SD card image. That's a different key. I mean, it goes in as you can see, but you see that? You see here? This is ENA key, and I think that's a different key. I mean, that's a different key, but it fits. They shipped it, hopefully that will work, but I'm gonna check before doing this. I'm just putting the screw in here so I don't lose it. All right, and the antennas. Okay, I connected the Wi-Fi antennas. This is a little bit tricky because it doesn't really fit, but I'm going to make it work. Okay, I think this is going to sit right on the chips. The sides that are not covered by this glue is fine. Let me see, I'm just checking. Yeah, definitely. So I am going to put this right there. Okay, so we connected the heatsink and it sits very well. That's fine. Okay, I'm going to grab one NVMe SSD. Okay, I found this one. We can install this. I don't think they included a screw for that one. I am going to use my own. Okay, I think I connected everything. Oh yeah, so it can go to fan one, for instance, and we can connect a fan to it. So something like that. We can connect it and we'll have 3 cables. Guess I can connect it to a fan, but yeah, for now I'm taking it out. Okay, this should be fine. I think this is a UART cable, but let me confirm. It is. So they were nice enough to send also a USB to TTL, although I have like probably 20 versions of this, but that's fine. So they sent this. So as you can see, they had this UART somewhere here, right? So the last one, yeah. So this is the UART. So pinouts are TX, RX, and ground. So if we connect it this way, okay, so that means the red is TX, the black is RX, and the green is ground. So that's a little bit weird color code, but that's fine. And then I can connect that to corresponding pins in this and connect it to my computer so I can see the TTL. So let's leave that out for now. I am going to burn an image to an SD card and power it up, and I will also bring the power consumption thing, and we'll take it from there. I will be right back. All right, I'm going to actually also assemble this acrylic case, and then we'll go into fast forward mode. I'm sure you will, you know, you don't need to really watch me assemble it. There is no instructions, but still, it's simple. So let's go into fast forward mode and just watch me assemble this. It is beautiful. I really like the case, the acrylic case, although they are saying Type-C over here, but that's the USB 3 port. That's also what I was confused about on the specs page and in the here. So this says Type-C for DisplayPort. There is no Type-C. So they replaced it. I assume they had Type-C version or they had Type-C here at some point. But yeah, so I can't use this port because of this. I'm going to plug HDMI, power, LAN, and an SD card in here, flash. I just wanted to show you guys this beautiful case. Although, as I said, this USB-C port is not usable. Yeah, these ports are correct. Maybe I can cut this and use it. Something like that. Okay, let me prepare the SD card and everything, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so before I turn it on and everything, I just want to show you one important point on how the you know, they want you to create SD card. So I inserted an SD card into this machine, so you have to basically run their tool. It's called the Rockchip Create Upgrade Disk Tool, whatever. It's not intuitive, honestly, because it doesn't have the drive letters and everything, but I can tell from the size that this is my SD card because I inserted a 64 gigabyte SD card. So I select that and I say this is an SD boot image, and I look it up, and these are the images I downloaded from the YouYeeToo R1 page. They have a variety of Debian, Ubuntu, and Android. So this one, last one is update YYT. That one is Android. So let's go with the Ubuntu first. And yeah, basically that's it. You just select the SD boot, you select the firmware, you select the SD card, and you click on create. And this is going to take a while to create. So you have to wait for this to finish. I think it takes like 5 minutes or so. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this also very quickly, as this is the way of writing the images to the disk. And yeah, let me finish everything up. We'll take it from there. All right, a quick update. So I managed to boot into an Android, and it is apparently Android 13. The Ethernet doesn't work, Wi-Fi works, and this Wi-Fi basically. And antennas are here. I just pulled it out just in case. Doesn't matter. It can stay inside as well. But yeah. So the power consumption is very good. It's fair. Let's say it's 4 watts. I will do a fast forward and play the videos of the benchmarks that I ran. I ran a bunch. If you want to go with the Geekbench, so here's the Geekbench 6 CPU score, 804 for a single core. 2500 for a multi-score. As you can see, it's Android 13 and Linux kernel 5.10 and Rockchip RK3588S. So yeah, it was able to detect the 1 processor, 8 cores, and also the clock speed of each of those 4 cores. So 1.8 and 2.3. And the RAM is 8GB version. That's what they sent. I know in their shop there's other versions of this with different size of RAM based on what you order. So yeah, here is just a quick glance on this one. And if we want to go to the next one, that's going to be Antutu. This is the benchmark score, 1,200,000, let's just say. The score is abnormal, and it says, you know, your current performance of this device is obviously beyond the normal level. This is mainly for the memory, it seems like. Yeah, CPU and GPU defeated 9% and 14% of users. So it's like kind of average, but it's on the lower side. I guess this is abnormal because why? It doesn't explain why, but I'm assuming it's a little bit higher than the regular and other people who tried. It just says this one is abnormal. I'm gonna be honest. If you guys know what that means, just let me know. But that just, yeah, this is what it says. And obviously this inch and stuff is wrong, but that's pretty much it. So that's the Antutu benchmark result. We checked the Geekbench, and here is the wildlife. I mean the 3D mark and the wildlife test. So that's overall score of 4,000. So it seems very efficient, as you can see. And if we want to go, let's say, to the VLC video player that I installed, and if we go to browse, and I downloaded a bunch of movies, let me download. Yeah, so Big Buck Bunny, obviously it'll definitely play that. This one is a TS file, and it's I downloaded from Demolandia. So this is a very large file, 500 megabytes for 2 minutes, and it's a 4K. And let's see if it can play this one. Obviously it can. So, and as you can see, while it is playing this 4K video, our power consumption is not really jumping up, but it goes like 4, 4.5, 4 and 7. I don't think I saw 5 when I was running the benchmarks, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So 4.7 watt ish is the cap, I would say. And remember, one important thing is I'm not using any fan, and I'm not using the external screen. So I tried their external screen very quickly. It just shows up and works. Let's just say that. We'll come back to that with Ubuntu and other operating systems, not the Android. So yeah, there is no problems with this one. Okay. So if we go back, I just want to show you a little bit more in the system settings and what they ship it with. There is no Google, obviously, in the Android that they're shipping. So basically, like there's no Google services, there's no Chrome, there's no YouTube, there's no Play Store. So there's no Google stuff in this Android image, obviously. And then you basically have to just either do an ADB and from your host computer with ADB shell and ADB push and ADB install and install -multiple, install split files or install the APK files. You can go with that. Alternatively, you can use the SD card, which is the method that I used. I downloaded the APK files offline, put it in the SD card. If you plug SD card, it detects it, as you see. This video that I was playing it's coming from the SD card. So I don't know why it got stuck though. I'm not gonna blame the operating system or I mean the board for this, but it just stuck. Okay, whatever. So let's just exit this VLC thing. Okay, it doesn't want to exit. Okay. Yeah, now let's go. Yeah, here we go. So I installed these bunch of stuff. Those are, ignore those. So Chrome also I installed that, it didn't come with it. It comes with Lightning. So this is their browser. So yeah, it is, it's okay. I don't have a lot of expectation. It's okay. This is what also I installed. It's not from the operating system. So yeah, it's okay. It just works. So if we go to the settings and if we go to system, sorry, in the about, so you will see that it is Android 13, okay? And I am connected to Wi-Fi, and the Ethernet was not working. It didn't detect the Ethernet. That's all right, it's okay. So yeah, this is RK3588S user debug build, whatever that is. So that's the stuff. And by the way, the storage, the internal storage that they shipped it with is 64 gigabytes. So 64 gigabyte internal storage, 8 gigabyte version. They shipped that to me for this video. So just be aware, there are other variants and choices that you can make. So Android is working out of box. You can absolutely use this as like a Android, very powerful though. It's a little bit overkill, but you can do that as a, Android smart TV and use this to play videos in your TV and stuff like that. But it's not for that, obviously. It does even have NFC sensor. It does have, 2 DSI, 2 CSI ports, HDMI and USB 3 and even NVMe SSD. I think it's very powerful to be used that way, but you can absolutely go for it. You can do that. So let me try to switch to the Ubuntu and or Debian, doesn't matter. I tried one, it just was showing some stuff on the screen. I gotta figure some things out. Android was straightforward, but the Ubuntu and Debian, there is something going on. I have to figure it out. Give me a couple minutes. Let me switch the operating system. There's not much else really to show you in this Android. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go to the Ubuntu. Let's do more testing there. I will be right back. Okay, so I got some updates for you guys, and it's all great news. Honestly, I'm very impressed with this board. So I put this acrylic case together. And the computer SBC is inside here. So what I'm going to show you is actually not really documented very well, but it is there. I like it. So here's what you have to do. In order to get into the bootloader mode, where you can actually flash operating system into the eMMC, they give you a tool that you have to download, and it's linked on their own wiki page. So this is RK dev tool, whatever, you download it. And in order to get into that bootloader mode, whatever, you have to power the board and hold this recovery button for like 2-3 seconds. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'll hold this and do this 1-2-3 seconds. And what I'm gonna do is also I'm going to grab a USB cable from my computer, and you have to plug it to that blue port. Okay, so this blue port, I'm gonna plug that in there. Okay, and as you can see on my screen, it immediately shows up here. So I know it's Chinese, but I used one of my phone translate thing. So this is browse, you select the operating system, and I have a bunch downloaded, and then you click on this button and it flashes the operating system into the SBC. Okay, just do that, and I install Debian and I install Ubuntu and I install Android. All three works. Now what I'm going to show you is that's the operating system installation. Now I already flashed Debian, Ubuntu, I think so. I tried both, but I left it at one of them. Let's remove this cable, put the keyboard back. Okay, and I am going to restart the computer so it actually boots into your operating system. There you go. Okay, so we are logged into the operating system. So one of the things that I want to show you quickly is just the usual stuff, right? So what we can do is neofetch the first, right? Neofetch. And this is Ubuntu. Okay, so I tried all the operating system, but I like it. You know, it's easy to flash new operating systems as I was showing you. So this is the Rockchip RK3588S, as we knew that, and Ubuntu 22.04, and then GNOME 42, and it is CPU is 8 cores, 1.8 gigahertz. Okay, so basically, if we do nproc, so we have 8 cores. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to run a sysbench, for instance, first. So sysbench and threads equals proc CPU run. So we are getting 11,452 crushing Raspberry Pi and Raspberry Pi 5 and ROC 5A and B. So those are usually around 10,500, 10,400, and this is we are getting 11,000. Now let's not stop there. Let's go to the stress ng. By the way, the default password for the YouYeeToo user is 123456. Okay, keep that in mind. I found it in some of those documentations. So I'm going to cover the documentation as well, and I'm going to cover the GPIO. I took a quick look at the GPIO pin and documentation. It is fabulous. It is fabulous. I want all SBC developers and producers and makers to follow this example. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I'm not saying no one else is doing it. I just like what they are doing it. Let me show you. So let's make this window bigger. Okay. So we are getting 965. I believe 700 was the Raspberry Pi. It's 800, sorry, 860, 850, 860 was Raspberry Pi 5-ish. So it's a little bit also the stress ng, it's higher and faster. So another thing, actually, let me drop into the sudo shell. Do we have gported? No. Okay, the APT is running in the background. Let's look at the F-disk. I just want to see the device. Okay, so yeah, we are booting from MMC. This is the device. Okay, so this is the device. I just want to see the speed of that. Oh, by the way, it automatically detected the NVMe SSD as well. Okay, I didn't do anything. It's just plugged into the back. Right, so I'm going to speed test the internal eMMC and the NVMe SSD that's plugged into it. So let's do HD Parm. I think it's installed. Yeah. Okay, let's do a quick test. Okay, so that's not bad, not great, but it's okay. So let's do it on this as well. Okay, so SSD is faster. It's not great. It is the Raspberry Pi 5 does double that, but it's okay. It's doing fine. So yeah, SSD, NVMe SSD is a little bit slow. I don't know if there is a settings like in the generation. So let me see. LSUSB, LSPCI, sorry, LSPCI-V. Let's see. So let me find. Okay, here it is. Okay, so here it is. This is the device, and yeah, I think supported speeds is here. It's downgraded. So yeah, I don't think it is using the full capabilities. I didn't find documentation, but on this one, but yeah, everything else is very, very well documented, and I actually really like it. Let me show you. If we search YouYeeToo R1, yeah, right here. If we go to the wiki page, you will see that Every single port is documented, and also there is a very nice GPIO map that have the sys class pin numbers, as you can see in here. So the only thing I had to do, I don't think they have it documented, is figuring out that down and left is the first pin 1. Anyway, that doesn't matter. So one thing that I really like that also have like the sys class numbers for GPIO pins and everything. One thing that I liked it so much was the example. So as you can see, if you come down in this page, you will see there are so many examples. Like for instance, the PWM, right? I just want to show you this one. This is really nice. So in this example, PWM usage, so it says that it is using PWM 7. So if we go back to the R1 page and search on the pinouts PWM 7, you are going to see that PWM 7 is GPIO pin 18. And if you look at the photo in the GPIO pins, 18 is right here. So from bottom on the left, on the right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7th pin. I plugged this orange cable, and this yellow one is plugged into the ground. And I have connected it to the oscilloscope, right? I connected it to the oscilloscope. Now look at the example. Let's go back to the example. If we do this, basically, it takes us to the PWM chip. And I don't think we need that. Yeah, this we start here. So we echo the 0 to export, and then we go into, if you now ls, you will see that there is a PWM 0. So we go to the PWM 0 folder, which is actually not really a folder. So anyway, we go here. We echo the 1000 to the period. We echo the 500, let's say, to the duty cycle. Okay, we do this. And we echo 1 to enable. Echo 1 to enable. As you can see, immediately right here, and you will be able to see here that PWM signals are working perfectly. Okay, and you don't see that here, but it's what we entered. And if I echo again 0 to this PWM, it stops. Okay. So the examples GPIO pin documentation is perfect. It's awesome. I like that. And yeah, the other thing I just wanted to test, we tested the disk speed, we tested the stress energy suspension. So let's do a GL Mark II test. But I want to close the browser for this test. Let's close it. Okay, and I don't need to do that from the root. And I am going to open up the P sensor. I just want you to see the temperatures and stuff. Okay, so we are here at 52, 53, not bad. Okay, so, okay, let's keep it there. Honestly, we're done, but that was a very underwhelming. I don't know why. I think the drivers are not installed, and it's not doing great. Yeah, it is stuttering. So panfrost and panfork, panfrost stuff is not installed probably. So it's, yeah, it is stuttering. So let's do one thing. Let's actually check the Chrome 4K playback. Let's see if it does that. And let's go to youtube.com. Okay, let's start 1080p. Okay, so it's at 1080p, it's already frame dropping, so I don't think we even need to try. But yeah, anyway, if we do 4K, I'm sure it's gonna drop a lot of frames. Let's see. Yeah, not a lot, but it is dropping frames. It is dropping frames. Yeah, it can't play. I mean, it's fine, but it's not really fine. So yeah, it is. That is one of the things that's probably related to the driver and panfrost and drivers. I don't think they have it installed, so that's the reason. And by the way, one thing I wanted to show you, this display port, if we go to the displays, the display port is there. You can see that this is my monitor, and there is the second one which you can also set the resolution for, and that's going to be your screen. So if you insert a screen, which I'm going to do, which is going to be the screen that they have provided, which is, let me grab it, which is going to be this one. Okay, so I'm going to plug this in. I'm not going to do it when it's powered on, so I'm going to power it off, plug this in, and reboot. So give me a couple seconds. Okay, as you can see, the screen turns on and it works out of box. I didn't install any special drivers or did any tweaks. Their screen and their cable and their board all work together perfectly. It worked with Android, also works with the Debian and Ubuntu. So yeah, as you can see, this is the second screen right here. Hopefully you can see it on the screen. Yeah, you can see it. So actually, let me open up an app. Let's say calculator. Okay, so that was the Office Excel. Okay, there you go. So it moved to this screen. Okay, so if we move this, yeah, there you go. As you can see, it's right here. So is it touch? Oh yeah, that's a touch screen. That's awesome. There you go. Okay, so yeah, this is absolutely working with a single cable though. That's very interesting. The cable delivers the power, the touch signal, and the screen display signal, so a video signal. So everything looks great, and it works out of box. Nothing else is installed, just one single ribbon cable. That's it, as you can see over here. So yeah, GPI opens work, PWM example works, the LCD works, the operating system works. The flashing into eMMC gave me a little bit trouble. But it's basically, the long story short, in their wiki they have a USB-C, but this port doesn't have USB-C. It does have a USB 3 port. Doesn't matter, it's the same port. So you plug a USB into that, you power the board. So most boards that I've seen is using the USB port for the powering the board, and also for bootloader flashing, but this one is not. So you have to remove all other USB, the keyboard and mouse peripherals, you remove everything, power the board, hold the second button in here, which is recovery, hold it down, and then plug the USB cable. Then with that Chinese interface tool, you can flash operating systems into the board, eMMC. My complaints are everything works, everything. Documentation also is great. My only complaints are the driver in the Ubuntu is not really great. It's not really working. The graphics driver, as you can see, can't play 4K videos. I'm sure with the software it is solvable. It's not a hardware issue. And the other problem that I have with this board is the slow speeds of the NVMe SSD. That's the two problems. So I don't know if it is fixable, but yeah, it's not doing great. Let me actually download a 4K video. I see that they have included a media player, as long as it shows the frames per second and dropped frames. No, okay, so that video player doesn't have anything special. I thought like they have something special with this. Not really. So yeah, the two complaints are a little bit low score on the video playback, and the other one is the slower than Raspberry Pi speeds on the NVMe SSD. Hopefully that NVMe SSD speed will be fixed with forcing the Gen 3 in the PCIe slot, if that's a possibility. And in terms of the problems with the graphics, I'm sure that's fixable by the drivers, but both of those issues are not addressed in the official image that they are shipping with, and also it is not addressed in the documentation. But so other than that, I'm very happy with this board, and thanks to YouYeeToo for sending this over. Android, Debian and Ubuntu works perfectly. The scores are very, very good in terms of benchmarks. But yeah, they need to address this. So the like AI accelerator and the Vulkan and OpenGL, OpenCL, the GPU drivers, OpenGL drivers, it's not here, it's not there. And it's probably going to give me a lot of trouble to get it to work and installing it manually. I would rather the developers of the board do it. But yeah, it is there, but I don't see that being included in the documentation. Hopefully they will fix that or address that. Other than that, as I said, burning tools is here. So burning to eMMC with the tool that I use is here. Images of the SD card is here. So if you want to do with the SD card boot, that's also another complication that I just want to mention. If you have an operating system in the eMMC, it won't boot into SD card. That's also a little bit and something that is not great, let's just say, because in the other boards, even if you have eMMC, you have some sort of switch or a toggle or way to force the system to boot from the SD card, or at least SD card like boot order in Raspberry Pi. You can define which devices boot order. I don't see that in here. So what you have to do is you have to erase the eMMC, then and only then it would ever boot from the SD card. So that's another small tiny issue that I'm not really happy about. But yeah, other than that, there's not much else in here. The other thing, the network, actually I never tested that. So it does have a HDMI in there. That yeah, let's try the internet speed. So yeah, let's do iPerf3 bidirectional. Okay, so yeah, it's true gigabit speeds. That's perfect. I like it. So yeah, Ethernet is also working perfectly. Oh yeah, and the final thing that I wanted to show you that you can use, there is like multiple operating system images. You can use an HDMI cable, as you can see right here, and turn it, insert it into the camera port as an input and capture it in this board with this example. So yeah, this board is capable, very powerful. And last time I checked, so this is the 8 GB version, right? So YouYeeToo R1, let's say buy, not bug, buy. I just wanted to see the price. I remember, yeah, $125. So this puts it, let me see, it's actually 96, but yeah, not the 4 GB, 8 GB. Okay, so yeah, 8 GB version, the basic one. The non-basic one is back, the acrylic case and the standard kit. That doesn't matter. So $116. It is cheaper than ROC 5A Pink and ROC 5B, but it is a little bit more expensive than the Raspberry Pi 5. But remember, Raspberry Pi 5, you need an NVMe SSD hat. This one already comes with it, but Raspberry Pi 5 comes with a Wi-Fi, and this one you have to buy a separate Wi-Fi card chip, that module. So yeah, you know, it's more expensive than Raspberry Pi 5, but it's cheaper than ROC 5A Pink and ROC 5 Pink and ROC 5B, and it is doing amazing with the scores and everything. It is very fast, and the pins. Another small problem that not a problem really, but something I would have preferred. They used a different, pins for the GPIO. They are small, so these DuPont cables, really doesn't go easily into those. It's a little bit smaller pins in that GPIO, and also it's 30 pin versus the standard Raspberry Pi, ROC 5A, ROC 5B, ROC 5B Pink. They all have 40 pin. And they have very similar pinouts. So this is a totally different, its own pinout, and it's 30 pin. So these are the little small issues, but other than that, this is an amazing board, and I really like it. It's just the documentation. I'm very happy with the documentation that they have it covered with a lot of pictures and categorization. and details. That's what I want to see in every single SBC that comes out. Anyone who's watching this and works for any of these companies who produce SBCs, I would recommend to check this page and look at it and do this. Basically examples for I2C, GPIO, UART, PWM, GPIO pinouts. This is great. So, and the tools for flashing eMMC and SD card. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or suggestions and down in the below in the comment section. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks and bye for now.